Hey, Real Green Ninja here. Today we're talking about price increases, so let's begin. There's going to be 2 utilities as well as a report that you're going to want to run whenever you do price increases. Now, most people will do price increases at the end of the service year as part of the renewal process. And that's a very important thing to be aware of, is if you're going to increase prices, you obviously have to have something to increase prices on. So when you are doing it as part of the renewal process, you want to make sure you process your renewals first. So I'm going to jump ahead a little, or I'm going to jump to here a little bit. And I'm going to go to pull the checklist, and you'll see there's actually 3 main steps of the year-end process. The first one, again, is running renewals, then raising the prices for the next service year. Okay, so like I said, very important. You got to have something to raise prices on in the first place. Now, if you're doing mid-season price increases, you got to be a little bit careful with that, simply because if you have customers that prepaid, at the end of the year, they're not going to have enough money to cover the services that were prepaid for unless you specifically excluded them for the price increases using a flag code. Again, we'll talk a little bit about that when I get into the actual utility itself. Now, the first utility you're going to run is under Tools, Utilities, and then it's going to be price increase utilities, and then we actually have a price chart increase utility. Now, the price chart increase utility obviously does it for the price charts. Now, that would be any new customers or any customers that sign up for a service or program that uses that price chart that, as a new service or program. So again, keep in mind, when you're doing renewals, it's going to carry over the price they paid last year into next year, and then that one's going to be the regular price increase utility. So again, if you're raising your prices on your existing customers, you probably want to make sure that your new customers also have the correct pricing as well. So again, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Tools, Utilities, price increase utilities, and then, like I said, the price chart increase utility. It's then going to ask you what price charts you want to do the increase on. Now, again, you can pick and choose. You can say, I want to use the services that are tied to this price chart. I want to go up by 10%, and then I'll run another one, and then the ones that are to the grub control might go 5%. Again, you can choose how you want to do it. Now, as far as how to increase, you can do it by a dollar amount or by a percentage. But one thing to be aware of on the dollar amount, it's going to increase each level by that dollar amount. So if you put $1 in here, each size that's on that price chart is going to go up by $1. So let's go ahead and pull up one of my price charts here. Oh, look, a sample price chart. Hey, how convenient. So again, like I said, they got this price chart right here. And we're going to go through, and let's do a percentage. Let's say we're going to be doing a 5% across the board price increase. So I'm going to click on the price chart I want to increase on. I'm going to put in my parameters. So again, if I want to do it by 5%, then I can do it by 5%. If I want to do it by dollar amount, then I can do it by dollar amount. Now, one thing also to be aware of, this is definitely something you want to have a manual data backup made before you do price increases. Now, the price chart's not as bad because you can always go back to the price chart and change the prices back. But again, it's just kind of cumbersome. Sometimes it can be a real pain if you're doing all of the price charts at one time. So again, you always want to make sure to do manual data backups before you do price increases. So again, we're going to do it against a sample price chart. I'm going to hit update. It's going to say, are you sure? We click yes. It said it's completed. Now, if we go back to that price chart, you'll see all the prices have gone up by 5%. So again, this price chart utility is strictly for the price charts. If I come in here and tell it to do it by a dollar amount, let's say it'll do it by $2, hit update. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Now I do have to close and reopen. There we go. Again, you'll see each one of these levels have gone up by $2 because that's what I put for my price chart increase. So like I was saying, is keep that in mind when you're doing price increases. If you're ever in doubt, definitely call Real Green. We'll be more than happy to help you out there. Now, for the active customers that have it as an existing job that you renewed into the next service year, we're going to use the price increase utility. So again, we're going to go to Tools, Utilities, and then price increase utilities, and then price increase utility. All right. So I wonder how many times I can say that in this video. So again, under the price increase utility, obviously there's a lot more parameters because again, we're doing the actual customer jobs themselves. So the first thing you're going to want to do is double check to make sure you got the right branch or branches. Again, you can do multiple batches of price increases. So you can say people that are an RGS Ninja, they might go up by 5%. Real Green Systems might only go by 2%. So again, you can mix and match your price chart increases. Your customer increases based upon what branch you're tied to. You can decide whether or not residential versus commercial. You can exclude group billing customer. You can also do price increases based upon how large the property is or what the standard price is on the customer's program. So again, if we go to a customer account here real quick, I'm just going to grab someone. There we go. We open this up here. This right here is the standard price. So again, you can say, if their standard price is $100 or more, we're not doing increases on. We could put a limit of 0.01 to $100. So again, keep in mind, these are filters on who would get price increased on. Now, one of the most important settings on this screen is the service year. Again, you only want to do it for the service year that you want to do it for. In this case, because I'm doing my year-end renewals, I'm only going to be doing it on the 2016 services. Again, if I do it on the 2015 service year, those 2015 prices will go up, and gosh forbid they have like prepay money or whatever, they're not going to have enough money at the end of the year, they'll have a remit balance. Or if you do the price increases for the 2015 year, again, you might actually go out and do someone's service and then charge their credit card if they're set up for auto pay. So again, it's very, very, very important. You're only increasing prices on the service year that you want to increase it on. And again, in this case, it's more than likely going to be next year, which for this video is 2016. You can do whether or not it's been completed or incomplete. Now again, what completed or incomplete means that you have finished the job. So if you take a look at this customer here, you will see that both of these are darker green. That means they are incomplete. They have not been performed yet. If I come in here and I post production really quick here, I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to go into much detail. Save, post, cancel, yes. I hope this isn't a repeating special. Otherwise, I just messed something up. No, okay, we're good. So again, I'm going to push F5 to refresh or change tabs. And you'll see now it's a light green. This job is completed. All right, so again, you can decide whether or not you want to do ones that have only been completed, again, the light green, or the ones that are still incomplete. Most people will just do both. Because again, keep in mind that we're setting it for 2016, so you haven't done anything in 2016, or at least hope you haven't done any 2016 services yet. But if you're doing like snow removal or whatever, again, that's a special case. You might want to be a little careful, simply because you might not want to change it in the middle of the snow removal year or season. All right, over here, program status. Again, this would be the status of the programmer job, not the customer status. It's talking about this status on the job. So again, you can go through and do it. Now, if you moved your estimates into the new service year using that option on the process renewal screen, you will definitely probably want to make sure that those estimate statuses are selected. Because if you don't, those estimates are going to have the old pricing. All right, as far as what you want to increase on, again, this is for the customers that have this as an existing programmer job. You can go through and check mark which ones you want. Most people tend to do like a 5% increase across the board, but again, you can do multiple batches. So you might say, oh, I only want to do lawn care on this batch, and then the next batch, I'm going to do my example program. Again, I'm just going to do across the board, and I'm just going to hit all for myself. Now down here, we can do it for people that only people that have a specific flag code or people that don't have a flag code. So if you have a do not raise prices flag code like I do right here, I can say I want to do it for people without that flag code. So if they have the do not raise prices, they will not be increased. Again, sometimes it's a little hard to wrap your mind around, but keep in mind this means they do not have the flag code, which means I do want to increase the price on. Like I said, you can exclude those people, or we can say only people with a specific flag code, or you can tell to ignore. Use sold dates. Again, this is going to be looking at the sold date of the job itself. So we come in here, we take a look, and there's our sold date. If we want to select a date range, so for example, maybe we have long-term customers, been around with us for 10 years, we might say, you know what, I want it if their sold date is from 2005. So let's say we go 01/01 2005, and then till the present, or again, whatever the sold date range you want to put in. And again, it's going to look at this date right here, and if it falls outside of that date, and I told it to use sold date, then those people will not be increased. So again, keep in mind, most people tend to do everyone, but like I said, sometimes with long-term customers, you might give them a break and not increase their prices because they've been such a dedicated customer to you. Yeah, exclude price changes on or after 10/20/15. What it's talking about is talking about this date here. All right, so if it's on this date or after this date, the last time they had the price increase, exclude those people. Again, most people just tend to do it for everyone, but like I said, that's one great thing about the software. It's very, very flexible, but you gotta pay attention. All right, down here, how are we going to increase? Do we want to buy dollar amount? Or do we want to do it by percentage? Again, with the dollar amount, that means each service that's part of that program or each service line that's on there is going to go up by that dollar amount. So let's say I want to increase this whole program as a whole by $5. I wouldn't put $5 in here. I'd put $1 because, again, each service is going to go up by $1. If I were to put $5 in there, each service is going to go up by $5, and the entire program is going to go up by $25. So, again, keep that in mind. Percentage is percentage. It's going to calculate whatever the price is, multiply it by the percentage, and then it's going to go through and change it to that price. Now, with percentages, you can say, I don't care what this percentage calculates. The minimum we're going to increase the service is 50 cents. Or I don't care what this percentage calculates, the maximum we're going to go up is $2. Because again, you might have some very, very large properties and you don't want them to have sticker shock. So again, keep in mind, this is why we do that backup, just in case we put the wrong amounts in. We can always restore the backup and then do it again. Now down here, update price for selected service years. Again, we want to update the price. So we're going to be updating this number right here, again for the 2016 service, as well as update renewal price. Now that renewal price is located here. Okay, so again, if you do not tell it to update the renewal price when you do renewals next season, it's going to copy this price into the next service year. So most of the time, you're going to want to do both. Again, there are very, very rare circumstances, but for most people to do both. If you have any questions, obviously, again, call Real Green. Now, once you have all your criteria selected, what you're going to do is hit Get Program Jobs. It's going to show you a list of all the people that will be affected based upon your criteria. So you'll see there's a couple customers I have in here. Again, depending on what I'm selecting, what I've renewed, these are the people that show up. Now, if this number is too low or whatever, then we might have to try to figure out, okay, maybe there's a piece of criteria under this here that's causing it to throw things off. As with a lot of other screens, if you go through and it's not showing the exact information you want, you can close the screen, reopen it to reset it. Unfortunately, the clear current report criteria does not work for this particular screen, but like I said, we can just close and then reopen it. So like I was saying, again, one checkbox, one drop down can make a world of difference. All right, once we have the criteria, again, like I said, we can get program jobs. It's going to show us all the people that could possibly be effective based on criteria. It's just going to tell us what the old standard price is as well as what the old total price of everything added up together. And you might say, you know what? Let's go ahead and see what this 5% is. So then we can hit Calculate Price Increase. It's then going to show you what the new price will end up being. So this $50 one here is going to go up to $52. And a total of $650 for the old program is going to become $670. And it's an increase of $20. So what I usually recommend doing is go through this list and make sure there's nothing really, really big, like $100 or more. Because again, you might have some sticker shock. But here we have this like lawn mowing. There's a lot of services of lawn mowing. Again, that's probably why that's almost $40 there. Now, if there is a service that you do not want to increase the price on, we can uncheck it here, or we can even hit none here and only select the ones that we want to do. Because keep in mind, only the ones that are checkmarked are the ones that will actually be increased. Now, you look here and say, well, it's $42,2405. You know what? I wanted to go shoot more for $4,500. I can come down here and I can change this parameter. I can go by dollar amount. I can change the percentage. Again, change the minimum, maximum. I'm going to take out that maximum there. Actually, I'm going to make it 99999. Oops. Let's try more than that. Let's see here, 99999. There we go. And then again, I'm going to take out this minimum. But down over here, I'm going to say, let's see what a 10% price increase. As long as you don't hit the Perform Price Increase button, we're okay. But we're going to hit Calculate Price Increase. You'll see, again, it will change and recalculate. And now we're a little bit closer to my goal. But you know what? Again, I want 4,500. So I'm going to go through, let's see what a 12% increase is going to do. Calculate Price Increase. There we go. We're a little bit over, but I'm okay with that. Once everything looks good, then we can hit the Perform Price Increase. Now, you may want to print the report. And again, let's take a look at the preview of the report. It's going to show you the list of the customers, old price, new price, and so on and so forth. So again, it's up to you if you want to print that out. Most people tend not to. But again, once everything looks good, you have all the things checkmarked that you want, the percentages are in there, everything looks good, then you're going to hit the Perform Price Increase. This is the point of no return. Once we hit this button and accept it, then those people's prices are going to be increased. So we're going to hit Perform Price Increase. It's going to say, are you sure? Again, we want to make sure to get that backup made in case we made a mistake. We can always restore it. We're going to hit yes, and now it's going to process, and all those customers have just had their price increased. All right. So again, keep in mind, you want to make sure to do that backup. I can't stress enough because there's been quite a few calls where people called up and said, hey, I did a price increase. I made a mistake. I need to roll back the prices. Unfortunately, we can't roll back a percentage on a price simply because a percentage on the price, it won't be the exact percent. You'd have to roll it back. The best example I tell people, let's say the price is $100 and you do a 10% increase. All right. So they're paying $110, but you realize, oh, no, I didn't want to do a 10%. I want to do a 1%. If we do a 10% decrease, 10% of $110 is $11. 110 minus 11 is actually 99. Yes, there is some mystical, magical percentage out there that will get it close enough to the $100 that it will end up rounding to $100. But again, I always say, let's restore it and do it correctly this time. Or do it the way we want to do it. But again, that's why we do those backups. Again, stressing, make sure to get that backup made. Now, once all your prices have been increased, Once you're doing that, then you might want to run what's called a price discrepancy report. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm actually going to come into this job right here, and I'm going to actually lower this price manually down to $50. So let's say, for example, he got missed on the price increase for whatever reason. Again, I want to show you what that report does. The price discrepancy report is actually in two places, and this is a report where you could possibly do some damage. The first place is under Reports, Customer, and then Price Discrepancy Report. The other place, of course, is under Tools, Utilities, Price Increase Utilities, and Price Discrepancy Report. So again, this is a report you could possibly do some damage. That's why we have this big red area saying, hey, back up your data before you do this, because this, again, is one of those things that's irreversible. We'd have to restore the backup and then redo it, do it correctly. Now, what's really nice about the price discrepancy report, it's going to look at all the customers that have the jobs or programs that you have just did increase on, or even you might run this periodically throughout the year to make sure your salespeople aren't underpricing. This report's going to show what the customer is currently priced at, and if it is not what the price chart says, it's going to show that account or show that job, and it's going to tell you what the price chart says it should be. So again, as with many reports, we have different criteria. We've got program, job, salesperson, source, residential versus commercial, different program, job types. Again, service here, we're looking at 2016. You can tell to do summary only, but I usually like to see the detail. You can also specify sold date. You can look for people that are underpriced by a certain dollar amount or percentage, or overpriced by a certain dollar amount or percentage. Most people tend not to run overpriced because if the customer is paying more than they're supposed to, that's on them. Okay. Over here, again, this big red area is, you'll see there's a change prices button. It's grayed out. Once we print, preview, or export this report, it will activate. And when we activate, we can actually end up changing prices. And again, we'll talk about that in a little bit once we get to that point. All right, so price discrepancy report. We're going to go ahead and do a preview. Again, I want to make sure for 2016, because those are prices I just changed. We do a preview, hit OK. You will see there's that customer. Oh, actually, there's one customer here. So their current price is blank. They actually have no price there. Their calculated price is $76.50. And so because of that, that's why they show up on the report. Now, I'm kind of curious why that one person wasn't showing up here. Who was that? Was it this customer? Nope, it wasn't this one. Oh my goodness, I might have lost them. I thought it was, oh, you know what? It's also maybe they didn't get renewed. All right, so let's go ahead and go to a customer here that does have something in 2016. And like I said, all these videos are on the fly. I do very, very minimal editing. They're all in one take. And because of that, I do have to sometimes make a little mistake or whatever, and I got to fix it. So let me see, why did this person, so 2016 service here, $50. Oh, you know what? This might not be a price charted service. Hold on, let me find a service that would be a price charted one. Actually, let's take this lawn care here. I bet you that renewed. No, that didn't renew. There we go. That one did renew. And I think that one is price charted. So again, I'm going to go ahead and change this down to $35. And then save. And then close. And then we'll run that report. There we go. Nope, that didn't do it. All right, I'm going to pause the video here real quick just to make sure we can get something to pull up, because I'm not sure 100% what all my services are price charted. So I'm going to pause. I'll be And we're back. Okay, so I figured out what I did wrong. Again, like I said, these videos are on the fly. All right, see right here, exclude price changes on or after this date. Well, that was originally 10/20, which is today, because I did the price increases today, and I told us to exclude price increases today. So again, I went ahead and corrected that, as well as I set someone up to make sure that they did pull up here. So as I was saying, if we come up here and we do a preview, you'll see I have a customer in the system to where their price is $35, but it calculates out to $52.53. This service is actually priced at $37.07, and it should be $33.10 based on price chart. But you'll also notice down here where it says increase to, those ones are blank. These ones do have numbers in them. Okay, now when we exit the preview, or if you'd export or print, you'll see that change prices button has now activated. Once this is active, if I click on this, and it will ask me, do you want to make a backup? Are you sure? If I click yes, what's going to happen is everyone that's on that list, and of course, if I want to do update zero prices, I have to make sure to check mark that, but everyone that's on the list will then be updated to what their price is supposed to be. So again, that's why we always recommend to use discount codes instead of manually lowering the price, because if we use a discount code, if the price was $100 and we gave them a 10% discount, the price would still be $100. The customer's only going to pay $90 because of the discount code, but the price will still be $100, and if that's what the price chart says they're supposed to pay, they won't show up on this report. So again, when you run this report, again, if you decide to use this change prices, make sure to do a backup. There's a lot of backups in the year-end process, and that's important because you don't want to have to start all the way at the beginning from scratch. Now, if you do decide to use this button, you can then say the maximum amount to raise it by X amount of dollars or an extra percentage. Again, if you want to update the ones that are blank, then we hit the update zero price. We'll do one more preview here. We'll see we have account number 31812, and actually it looks like both our jobs are in 31812. Then what we can do, hit change prices. Are you sure? Yes. Updated the services. Now when we go to preview, nothing shows up. The reason why is because everyone is paying what the price chart says they're supposed to be paying. So like I was saying is that, this price discrepancy report isn't necessarily something you only have to run at the end of the year. This is a good report to run periodically throughout the year just to make sure your customers' prices aren't being set too low based upon your price net. Now, again, it only works with services that are set to price chart. So it won't work with man hour and it won't work with work order or manual pricing. So like I was saying, this is a really cool report to run, and it's one of my periodic reports I recommend running maybe once or twice a year, especially run it after you do price increases. So again, just to recap, we have two utilities in the report. We go to price increase utility. The first utility is for the price chart. The second utility is for the existing customers, and the third thing, which is the report, is the price discrepancy report. Of course, if you need help with that, just give Real Green a call, and they'll be more than happy to help you. I hope this helps, and you guys have yourself a wonderful day.